closet. He has like, I don't know why that's out. I think he wore it for Halloween, and it's been since floating around.
Yeah.
So whenever I close the door, the door, I think people are like, "Why is there a head of hair behind you?" And I'll realize like halfway through my video, and I'll be like, "Oh my god."
Exactly. I watched your video the other day, and I was just like, "Is somebody's hair stuck? Are they trying to listen?"
Sure, it's not in the door before I start the video, but the other day he came in during the video and then closed the door, and I was like, "Now the wig is out." Like, stop hanging it there.
Literally and figuratively.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? We work with what we got. I've had a lot of people message me. They're like, "Are you in a closet?" And I'm like,
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you do see the racks and the clothes. You definitely do. That's one of the things that, you know, this discussion is about, you know, just being able to adapt with the changes that are coming.
Yeah.
And so I came across your post. You might even, I'm not sure if you initially started off as a suggested friend or something, but I just came across your post and seen what you were talking about. And anytime I see people talking about mindset, mind shifting, mind frame, psychology, neuroscience, you just get my neurons going. And so that actually triggered me, because I personally started to study myself a few years ago as just my own experiment, psychologically and psychosomatically, you know, seeing why my body wanted different things than my mind at times. And that became really a really important part of my life, because now I almost see that there are multiple beings that exist with, I can't speak for anyone else, but within me, and they don't always agree on the same things. You know, I have a sexual appetite that wants one thing, I have a mental appetite that wants another, and I have an emotional appetite that wants another, and I have a spiritual appetite fighting to align all of them. And so,
and then there's like the conscious, ethical / how others perceive you appetite of kind of just messes with everything else, of course, too.
Right, because in the bigger scheme of things, you're also battling within yourself, and then once you get outside of yourself, you also are presented with, wow, I could either step on other people's toes because of what I want, or I could figure out how to make things work in my benefit and their benefit by being transparent and vulnerable. And that's been a challenging thing, because I'm not instinctually vulnerable. I'm really instinctually secretive.
I think most of us have been conditioned to be that way from various levels of hurt, or, you know, everything. You know, there's this idea of like private life and public life, and I think social media has started to kind of fuck with that, a little bit.
Go ahead.
Because especially during COVID, with social media now existing during a time when people are not in public as much.
Exactly.
Private life has become public life, and so even private life on a social media sense has become less authentic. Either that, or it is really vulnerable. You're either very vulnerable and raw with people, or you're dressed up on the top and you're wearing sweatpants on the bottom, which I am not talking about myself right now. but like you see what I mean, right?
I do.
And then there is this comparison game we play with ourselves and other people. Wow, their life is so great behind closed doors, but we don't know there is really no such thing as closed doors anymore with social media. So that kind of messes with our entire perception of what, you know, feeling like we're behind or feeling like other people have it figured out, when what you present in a social media sense is often the same as what you present when you're dressed up to go out. And, you know,
and it's almost, no, it makes plenty sense. It's almost like where we're transitioning to, that social media platform, internet has made it to where I want your personal and your public life, and you don't get any privacy anymore. You know, and
and to understand that one doesn't take away from the other. That to see and understand that you can be in a place of authority and a place of helping people with them seeing both sides. And that's why, like, some days I go live, I put makeup on, I look cute. Some days I'm like, I just rolled out of bed. Who wants to hear what I'm thinking about? Because like it doesn't matter. Like it, people want to see that. They feel more connected to you. I think.
And so why do you think people want to feel more connected now with technology in comparison to when we just allowed people's private lives to be separate from their public image?
Well, I think there's a lot of things. Social media is something I really struggle with mentally. I was even having this conversation yesterday. It's like, as much as I want to be more consistent, and I know that it is kind of the name of the game for owning a business and marketing it, I have a lot of resistance to like what it is, and my ego gets in the way sometimes because I don't want to be put into this category with like other people. And that was specifically persistent in my head when I was fitness coaching. So I've had my own fitness coaching business for like 2.5 years, and I didn't feel aligned with it anymore. I'm kind of transitioning the way I focus on that. I'm going to still do fitness coaching, but for now I'm doing mostly the mental reprogramming stuff because to me that comes first. But I find that, and this is actually a conversation I had with someone last night, I wonder how people, there are some people, they're just so consistent on social media. It's their life. They have an Instagram story every day. They have 3 Facebook posts every day. They're live all the time. They're doing it. They're going. And I think a big part of the problem is that, and I know that this happens with me and maybe other people, like I said, it creates this illusion of them always having their shit together. And then we play the comparison game. But it also has a way of creating this image of them, but we don't ever feel super connected to them on a human level. So you have these social media, particularly Instagram influencers now, who are famous. They are celebrities for what they do, who they are. And there are these categories of authenticity. So if it's a fitness person, every fitness person is going to have a unflexed versus flexed photo and some kind of post about the difference. But even that is like this feigned authenticity, because that version of authenticity is in a box of like the expectation of the different posts that you should make as a fitness influencer. Yes. Everybody's doing it. So it has become not authentic. And so I was just talking to someone the other day about being hard on myself and saying, you know, like I'll be present on social media for like a few days at a time. And then honestly, I go dark. I go dark for 5 days and people are like, where the fuck did you go? And I am exhausted, emotionally, physically, mentally exhausted. And I've realized that when you put yourself out there authentically, that's a lot of emotional energy that you're giving away. And when you take back some of that authenticity and you put it out there for the sake of putting it out there and not for the sake of connecting with other people and being authentic, you can keep going because it doesn't take as much as your energy. So for me, like, to be drained by being present all the time is to be putting your true self out there. And that's why I think that there is almost,
I like that.
You have to sacrifice some level of consistency on social media to be authentic. And maybe this is not the case, but I don't know if I'm just going in a couple different directions now. But
no, you're not.
I think the problem that we're having with connecting is that we're prioritizing consistency on social media, whether for an engagement